But first today, the impact of the drug ice reaches all parts of Australia, and rural and regional areas are no exception. It's been described as an epidemic, and there is much debate as to whether enough is being done to support those who live outside our cities. In South Australia, a theatre producer is trying a different approach to help support those affected by ice abuse, including members of his own family. Ruby Jones reports from Mount Gambier.
This is what it's like to be in the middle of a drug deal gone wrong. It's a scene lifted from the real life of a town struggling with methamphetamine. Part of a production created by director Jamie Harding to get people talking about the problem.
The people actually hold the answers to this problem. It's the people that have gone through it, and it's about hearing those stories and getting those stories out there and making sure that their voice is heard.
Mount Gambier in South Australia could be any rural town, neat on the surface, with a drug-fuelled underbelly.
On the surface, when you drive through our town, it looks well-nurtured. It's a beautiful town. But all of a sudden, what was creeping up underneath all of that were these stories of pain and of real suffering. And we felt that they were stories that were vital and needed to be heard.
To create Cold as Ice, which is still in pre-production, Jamie interviewed more than 60 people whose lives had been affected by methamphetamines. One of them was Kate Amoroso. Now a fitness trainer, she's sharing her story in the hope she can get people to recognise rural Australia's drug problem.
I think the more people open up about it and talk about it, the more we can expose it for what it is and get things put in place to turn the situation around.
The former model and race car driver's ice addiction ended with her holding a knife to her own throat in a police standoff after an 8-day binge ended in drug-induced psychosis.
I was at the point where I didn't care if I overdosed. I was at the point where I wasn't watching how much I was putting into my body, how much I was smoking, how much I was injecting, probably in the hope that I was going to overdose. My life had got to that point where I felt there was no return.
Kate wound up in hospital, temporarily paralysed.
I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk. The nurses, the doctors and my family tried to explain to me what I'd done and that it was to do with drugs. Yeah, which is just the most horrific thing you could ever hear, is that you've done this damage to yourself.
Family and fitness are what helped Kate get her life back together.
To think that you've hurt other people along the way, that's tough acceptance. I certainly have done a lot of apologising to a lot of people.
Rehabilitation centres are what rural towns need, according to those who've experienced the effects of ice. That's what Karen has been advocating for since her son Jay died from an overdose.
Mount Gambier needs a crisis centre. I think all over regional Australia needs these crisis centres to be available to families who have addicts in their family, whether it's the mum, the dad, the son, the daughter, auntie, uncle. Eventually they all get psychotic, and trying to deal with someone who's in a psychosis in your home is unmanageable.
It's something she wishes had been available during her son's 16-year drug addiction.
I had one very horrific situation here where Jay was outside in his caravan. He came into me in my office and asked me if I would come outside because he wasn't sure, but he thought he'd cut the cat's head off, but he wasn't sure, and could I go out there and just check. And I thought he was just trying to wind me up. But I went outside and its head was here and its body was flipping around there.
I hate flies, Gary. I hate bloody flies.
While researching the show, Jamie discovered one of his own family members, as well as many former friends, had developed ice habits.
Annoying.
It kind of gutted me. I just realised, wow, I went to school with these people, and to hear how that was affecting their lives was really hard.
He thinks the answer lies with art, and his new production goes further than theatre has before.
Where's the money? Where is it?
As part of the show, the audience will strap on virtual reality headsets and enter the world of ice.
It enables an audience to truly step inside the story in a way that we've never, ever been able to do as storytellers.
At the moment, the idea is being tested on a small audience.
Being in that sort of space and being able to look around it, it's just incredible. Yeah, it's really terrifying.
In the final show, hundreds of people, all with their own headsets, will experience the piece as though they are one of the characters.
I think it was absolutely fantastic, a little bit too real. Certainly portrayed it very well.
And I thought that it will take the audience past sitting in a house taking ice. You know, this is the evil world that they will end up in if they wish to engage in. You know, for someone thinking about doing that or have done it for the first time, I'm pretty sure it would be a deterrent, what would be for me.
Cold as Ice will premiere in Mount Gambier, where locals will be able to see what's happening on their streets and in their homes reflected back to them.
That was Ruby Jones from Mount Gambier. Shakespeare famously said that music was the food of